Well, bam! You met us last year, or you met me last year. We did this last year. I had so much fun. I wanted to do it again this year. Welcome to Explorers of Elsewhere. Welcome to us playing a trophy RPG called Pick Me that's all about Christmas. I'm going to introduce our players. And they will introduce their characters as we sort of start the chaos that will reign. For those out there of a nervous disposition, Pick Me is a game you play to lose. It might tackle things about rejection and about body dysmorphia. So please take care with this stream. We're going to try not to do anything too harrowing, but it is supposed to be horror adjacent. All these guys are toys. This isn't real. Or is it? So I'm going to just kind of pass to everybody. First of all, we have Nathan. I don't know where Nathan's going to place himself. Somewhere around this screen.
It depends on where Dan's going to place us, really.
Yeah, Nathan, say hi.
Hello. This is a brand new, probably a new thing for the channel because Dan's not here. We've taken over.
Oh. Exciting. We have Olivia, also from previous EOE episodes, mostly playing the Daggerheart game.
Mostly playing Daggerheart.
Okay. And now we have a new addition. This is Tim. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Tim's a very good friend and relation. Not of mine.
Or me.
Can you guess who?
Can they guess who it is?
I don't know.
I'll give you a clue. We've both got no hair.
Runs in the family. Different families? I don't know. That's...
Runs in the different families.
It's the stress of knowing your mother, Tim, so...
So these guys know each other pretty well. They're like... At least two of these people, at least Livy and Tim, have never played this game before. Nate has, if you watched last year. We will work it out as we go along. They've been roughly instructed. We'll be going through it as we go. But I like to settle into things. Imagine the scene somewhere in the North Pole. There is a dark, brooding, dark stained shack. It's got really dark wood stains, some smoke coming off of the chimney, beautiful kind of like large amounts of snow on the roof. There's reindeer just kind of standing outside, just kind of grazing just gently at the few bits of grass that are still left. Inside the building, it's full of lights, things hanging from ceilings, a roaring fire in the back, and a large, huge rocking chair with a human male person who sits and takes up the entire chair. His entire weight is bared upon this chair. You can hear the chair creak just a little bit as he reaches back and he lights himself a pipe. He reaches into a stack of unread mail behind him and pulls out an ancient letter. With that letter, he kind of tears it open. This letter opener that he finds, if anybody was paying attention, some people might think it was made of bone. Or maybe that's a trick of the light. He opens and he tears into a wish. Tell me one thing, each of you, that might have been in this particular wish from a child. Let's start with Nathan.
I would say an extra week off school.
Ooh, nice. Livy, can you tell me a wish that this child may have sent to Santa?
For a white Christmas.
Okay, lovely. Tim, could you tell me a little wish that might have been included in this letter to Santa?
I think it's an incredibly wholesome wish, asking for something for their sibling instead of for them.
Oh, that's nice. Nice. If you can hear me tippy tapping, it's because I'm taking notes. Because some of this might be relevant, some of it might not be. The handwriting in this letter is full of hope and want. Some of the letters might be like a little bit reversed, and some of the words bend where the child ran out of space because they don't really have great depth perception. The letter also describes each of you as toys, and this will be the last time that I address you by your real names. And smoke curls around Santa's yellowed whiskers. He takes a puff of his pipe, and he mutters with smoky, raspy breath. Seems like more toys than one child can love. What does Santa do with the letters from hopeful children after he reads them? Nate.
Burns them. Just right in the fire.
He takes the note, crinkles, screws it up, throws it, and it catches fire.
I assume that that's what the North Pole's like fuel is. It's just discard, like he gets millions and millions of letters, so he can just use that as a constant source of fuel.
Doesn't even bother making them into like fuel bricks. Just makes them normal.
Yeah.
Lovely. The toys that you haven't been built yet, but you exist in the child's imagination, and you're about to be built in Santa's workshop. Knowing what you will become, I'm going to go around each of you and ask you to describe what the child wrote in the letter to Santa to describe your actual character. And then maybe we can advance from there. There might be a bit of an advert. We can explore what the advert that they saw on TV might have been like for it. So let's start with Livy for a change. Livy, aka, shall now be forever known as Bullet. Just Bullet.
Just Bullet.
From the Megarex Battle Raptors.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet, could you describe what the child wrote about you in the letter?
The child, a child, they wrote that they wanted the coolest, badassest, biggest, scariest, battling T-Rex that there is on the planet. They asked for, with the light up eyes and the 10 different voice pull string.
Grand.
The 10 Ras.
The 10 Ras.
The 10 Ras of Bullet.
What's in your advert? Is there anybody special doing the voiceover?
It's the same guy that did all of the voiceovers for every 90s boy advert. That guy! Bullet! That guy. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we know, we've got an idea as to why the child might want you. Do you offer anything that no other toy can match? Or have we already mentioned it, perhaps?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Primal Predator Mega Dinosaur series, they only have 8 different Ras.
Oh.
And Bullet
What a loser.
has 10. He has 10 different Ras.
At least 2 more Ras.
Two more Ras.
And one of them might be in Spanish.
Don't know.
We don't know.
There's just so many. that you might not even get to ever hear the 10th one. Because Just so many in there.
Grand. Thank you, Bullet. It's going to take a little while for my head to just kind of get into gear. We will pass gently over to Gilbert. Hi, Gilbert. What did the child wrote about you in its letter?
I know we've not announced Nate's toy, but I feel like Gilbert is an outlier in this toy range. So I think that the child just really likes frogs, and saw an advert for Gilbert and just went, that'll be good because then I can have a frog with all of my cool warring toys and it won't get broken. Is mainly the thought process behind what the kid wants is a robust frog toy.
Love it. Love it.
The advert was seen on mute, and it the toy manufacturers desperately wanted Gilbert to be kind of more of a collector's toy than an actual plaything toy. It would have had sort of a kind of, this is the blah 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 Amazonian tree frog kind of thing.
On one of those rotating platforms.
Yeah, on one of those rotating things. But the child did not hear that and just saw a kind of floppy, cuddly frog and was like, this is great. I can have an amphibian aspect to my dinosaur army.
Love it. Love it. Okay, cool. Let's pan the camera over to Count Thunderthrob.
So,
Count Thunderthrob, could you please tell me what the child wrote about you in its letter?
So it wasn't so much of an advert that the kid saw. The child saw a news report that the parents were watching regarding a news section about a toy being pulled from shelves, regarding some backlash from the cartoon that the toy comes from. Maybe about the voice actor having some very choice comments on social media, and so they are pulling the toy from shelves. But the child didn't really understand what was going on, just saw this really cool villain action figure and thought, like, that would go great with the rest of my toys. I don't have any other villains. No one to be the bad guy within my toy box. So he would be really cool.
Lovely. What do you offer that no other toy can match?
I come with minions. Not as in Minions TM. I come with my own little sidekicks of
Tiny Throbs.
Of tiny throbs, yes. They're called the Throblings. And they come with me.
Yeah. We'll find out more about the Throblings a bit later. I'm sure.
I don't want to know about the Throblings.
You're going to know.
It is important that we all find out sooner or later. So let's all think about like how you as a toy might fall short of the child's desires. And in that we will create a fear for all of you. Does anybody have an idea of what that might be for their toy?
Yeah, I think that my great fear is, although I'm not a collector's item, I think, and that is not an aspect of my character, I think it understands that it should have been, and is quite bitter about the fact that it isn't. And I think anything that may damage it is going to be a fear. So I think the fear that it's going to snag on something and tear, or like the seam will come out, something like that. That's my fear.
Love it. I'm going to write that down. So with that in mind, kind of in as you're being built in the elf station, you come to consciousness. You have these visions and these flashes of like things leaving your body without prior notice, and you have these visions of like threads being pulled just slightly too tight and snapping, and then like things opening up and losing parts and bits and pieces of your inner personage. And with that thought going through your mind as you are created, I'd like Gilbert to make me a ruin roll, please.
Ooh. Okay.
You are trying to roll
Well,
under
that's good.
your current ruin.
I rolled a 6.
Okay.
Great start.
As you are, your ruin goes up. That's the element of that. So your ruin is now at 4. As that happens, you realize that actually one of the elves has been quite shoddy with some of the stitching, especially around one of the legs. You can choose which leg. We can discuss which leg. And you realize that actually one leg isn't as well stitched on as it could be. So I'm initially going to give you a condition, and feel free to play into this, of just damaged leg of some sort.
Love it.
So, in your fears, I am adding in becoming undone, I think. is kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Count Thunderthrob Bullet, I'm going to ask you the same question. And the question is, how do you fall short of the child's desires? Could you describe something that your toy fears? And then I'm going to ask you to make a ruin roll.
I think Bullet would be worried about not being the most badass toy. I think he's got some issues around masculinity, I would say, and he's worried that maybe the kid will look at him and not think that he is the most roughest, toughest, baddest bullet that there could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of dinosaur is Bullet?
Bullet is a velociraptor.
Nice. I think kind of as you're having this thought pulse through your conscious mind as a toy, you have like this vision of one of the elves accidentally putting some stuffing inside of your body instead of the hard plastic exterior that you would kind of like then want that shell, and then somewhere inside of it like there is something squishy.
Bullet isn't squishy. Bullet is the hardest, toughest boy that there ever was, or is.
Can you please make me a ruin roll and we'll find out?
Come on, Bullet. Yeah, ruin roll.
Yes, a ruin roll. So just click ruin and then click the... Okay.
Ooh.
Your ruin stays as it is. Luckily, this vision was just a vision and not reality. So your hard plastic exterior stays true, but your fear is still there. So you fear being a softie.
Yeah. Just the thought of it is enough to cause major damage.
Like a soft-scented chocolate.
Orangey.
Maybe it is flavored. We don't know. We don't know what that contents that wasn't going to go into your body. We don't know what it was. So we won't dwell on that too much, Bullet. Count Thunderthrob. I don't want to ask you the question, but I have to. What does the child? How do you fall short of what the child desires? And in that, we'll find out what your fear might be.
I think because he's from a relatively not popular TV show with kids. Like, it's very popular with adults randomly, but it's not very popular with kids. So I think definitely, I mean, he's already been cancelled. But I guess being forgotten. Like, how can he rule? How can he cause chaos if no one pays attention
Even knows
to
who he
him?
was.
How do you stay relevant?
Yes. He needs constant attention.
Constant attention. Love that. Love that. With that thought going through your mind, you see the advert kind of reaching a peak crescendo, and then the next day it's not shown, and it's not shown the following day, and the following day, and the following day, and just that fear kind of builds up in your mind as to like, how quickly will it be before you are forgotten? Could you make me a ruin roll, please? You are looking for under 3.
No.
Equal to or under?
I got a 4.
Okay. Not knowing this yet, but within the space of a couple of weeks of being released, the toy shelves that feature your particular brand will stay full and people will stop buying it.
Well, no, because they're being taken off the toy lines. They've been taken off the shelves.
So they will stay in storage forever.
Yeah.
Maybe sold as collector's items at one point in time. You don't know.
Or
I'm
burnt.
mad about it. Or burnt.
Burnt by those woke lefties
Yeah.
that hate burning them in the street.
And with that, I will give you a condition of short-lived. I don't know what that means.
Condition of dead.
Or temporary, perhaps. Maybe temporary might be better. I'm going to change
Just who? Question mark.
Yeah, just forgettable.
it. Forgettable. So feel free to take that word as an inspiration sort of going forwards. That was ring 1. We move.
I had a question
Yes.
about our fears and stuff and how it affects other characters. But do we, as a group of toys, are we aware of Count Thunderthrob's actors' political leanings and how that affects the toy? No. Like, are we aware of what's going on in the outside world or not?
We're built in a vacuum. Like, we wouldn't
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know.
As a toy, you wouldn't know, but you might be able to find out through asking the right questions as a toy.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's nothing to stop you from doing that. So the elves keep consulting the blueprints, and a gentle Arctic snow wisps across the ground outside, and Santa's workshop kind of... You hear this industrial-sized motor kind of kick in somewhere as your consciousness comes around. So this is the moment we transfer into Ring 2, which is the sheer second of your creation. In Santa's workshop, a team of elves assemble you part by part. The air is lit by the green glow of the Aurora Borealis, which is really tricky to say. Tiny orange oil lamps illuminate the work that the elves do, and the sounds of saws and hammers and plastic molding machines kind of hiss in the background. And the elves sing a jolly song to pass the time as the years go by. But does anybody have an idea as to how we know that the elves cannot leave?
There are no doors.
There's no doors.
No feet.
Just no doors.
No feet.
No feet. I mean, I'm happy to take both.
They used to have feet.
They used to have feet. So, in my mind, they are fed in via a chute, head first. And the chute closes far too quickly. And it's like a flaw in Santa's grand plan that then just lops off. So somewhere outside of the chute, there's like a pile of elf feet.
And it's been like this for hundreds of years, and Santa just hasn't ever got round to fixing it.
Yeah. He's
Oh,
very busy.
Yeah, I'll do that. I must remember. Fix the
Next
chute.
year. Next year.
Next year. He's asked Mrs. Claus if she could help. Mrs. Claus said no.
Yeah, saves on the shoe bill.
Great. But we know that the elves are wily, a little bit kind of maybe erratic. And they are kind of making you this custom toy. So we're going to go around each of you and take your misfits, the things that we've displayed as your features. The features that you've had from the character sheet, I can remind you what they are. And we can describe how the elves mismake you to give you these extra features so they don't quite put you together properly. So we'll start with Count Thunderthrob. Count Thunderthrob, could you tell us more about your features, please, which are Expendable Sidekick and Goo?
So I like to think that they didn't want to make as many Count Thunderthrob toys as they should have, but then they had like much more. They made the Throblings first, but they were just like, well, we can't have this many Throblings, so they just packed more Throblings into each box than there should have originally been. So that's why he's got more expendable Throblings to send out.
It's a random amount of Throblings per box.
Random amount of Throblings. You'll never know how many you're going to get. And yeah, like something weird happened with the plastic while they were molding him. So he just sort of excretes this sort of slime from his... I'm going to say from his hands. I'm going to keep it safe.
Yeah.
Just can't pick anything up.
Yeah.
It's just got a really clammy handshake.
Yeah. But it's quite sticky, like very sticky. Sticky, gooey hands, like a child. You never know where it's come from, but...
Like you've been at all the sweeties.
Yes.
Great. Bullet, let's come to you. Could you tell us all about your features, which are flashing lights and a tiara?
I like to think that while the little elf was making Bullet, they were trying to keep on top of schedule, so they were making Bullet and Princess Fancy Pants at the same time. And whilst getting distracted, because they had a really big itch on their foot stump, they accidentally put parts of Princess Fancy Pants into Bullet. So Bullet now comes with a tiara and has sort of rain, like he was meant to have like these like sort of piercing torchlights, so you could fight in the dark. But instead, when you turn them on, they just like they make like sparkly, like projected, like butterflies. It's like,
But somewhere there's a Princess Fancy Pants with a saddle-mounted chain gun.
somewhere, yeah. So Princess Fancy Pants on the other side. She has 2 Uzis, and just like sort of bright red, sort of sniper rifle eyeballs.
Great. That's not going to come back to get you at all.
No.
Gilbert, could you tell us more about your features, which are noodle and choking hazard?
Well, yeah, due to this bad job on my leg, I've got a, for want of a better word, cloth anus, from which occasionally beads just sort of pop out, where the sewing didn't quite work. And the benefit of this is because I'm not stuffed to full rigidity, I can get round kind of tight spaces and corners and sort of pipes because I'm a little bit more fluid than my 2 solid plastic friends. But the downside is that I do kind of excrete little beads that could be a choking hazard.
The many things.
Yeah.
People, animals, and the like. Great. Wonderfully done, everybody. Wonderfully done. So, from somewhere in the distance, you kind of can hear the reindeers kind of chomping away at what you probably think at this point is grass. One of the reindeers pops its head through the workshop window, and you see it sort of hover over a couple of the, or you see it hover over a couple of the bags full of toys. You can see it sort of like licking its lips. On top of its head, you see like a little bandana that says Donna across it. Not D-O-N-N-A or D-O-N-N.
D-O-N-E-R.
D-O-N-E-R. D-O-N-N-E-R.
Is that what they've been threatened they're going to be turned into if they don't work hard enough?
Yeah.
I mean, possibly. And you sort of all witness this large creature grab one of the toys in its mouth and just start just like mouthing it and chomping it. You can hear like a crunching noise. How do you feel? How does this affect you?
Fantastic, because it's not me. One less toy. Brilliant.
Think Bullet would think that Bullet could take on that reindeer. Bullet would think that Bullet could fight any reindeer because Bullet is Bullet.
Okay.
He doesn't know he hasn't got his Uzis yet, but he could take that reindeer on
when he does.
Gilbert's just a little frog, so it is kind of scared. I think it's woken up. It has a sort of knowledge of frogs that comes from just the basis of it being a toy. Like, it's not an action figure or something, so it's got the basic idea of what a frog should be. And then it's found itself in the North Pole, terrible place for frogs, and and a giant monster's just eaten another one. So really kind of freaked out at the moment.
Does anybody, the reindeer eventually kind of drops the toy, covered in saliva and spit, and like a bit of it just sort of like vanishes down the reindeer's throat. It coughs and the projectile hits the back wall and into like a bin. It's like he's done this before. It's like this is his thing. And the reindeer kind of pulls its head out of a window and then back into a different window. And he's snuffling around near the bag that you are all stored in. What would you like to do? Would anybody like to do anything?
I'd like to try and noodle my way down.
Okay.
Use a mix of my noodly abilities and gravity to just sort of shimmy down the bag away from the top.
I love it. Escape is...
That's the word, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So this is our first kind of risk roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to suggest that you could probably use a skill, and that is snuggling, perhaps. So snuggling, so you're snuggling closer to other toys to try and wriggle your way down. And yeah, you could also use your feature of noodling to try and manage these difficult spaces. That's really cool. So you start to kind of like wriggle and maneuver your way down, but you know that there is this risk involved. And I'm going to ask for devil's bargains. So we have one light dice so far because of Tim's skill. Gilbert's skill. And we have one dark dice because of the risk of the reindeer itself. Does anybody want to give a devil's bargain just to give an extra light dice?
So devil's bargain, you get caught underneath like a big sort of toy truck, and it will make it harder for you to get out of the sack, or for people to find you in the sack later on.
Oh, that's quite nice. So no matter what, you get pushed down so far in the bag that it's more difficult to get out a bit later.
Because my idea was almost the opposite, which was no matter what, I hit somebody's try me button, and it starts the sack, so the whole sack starts making sounds, attracting the attention of like nearby elves. Okay. But maybe I'll just end up wedged. I think I'm going to end up wedged. I'm going to go for end up being stuck under a big truck.
Livy, do you have anything else to add? Do you have another potential offer? You can take more than one, of course. It's entirely up to you. If you don't have anything, that's cool.
No, I can't think. I was thinking something similar to Nathan. So yeah, we'll go with.
So that's another dark.
So that's 2 light dice, 1 dark. So if you go to risk roll and you put in 2 light, 1 dark, we will find out what the result is.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not going to survive very long in this game.
But that's okay.
So I got a 5, but then I also got a 5.
So you rolled a dark dice as being the highest dice. That means your ruin goes up by 1. So you start to kind of muscle your, like, using your body. You start to kind of limply, like, kind of noodle your way down through, and then you kind of get stuck, and you don't think you can do much more. And you kind of feel around in the bag, and you sort of like manage to like knock something with an elbow, and from somewhere you feel a drip. 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 You feel something liquid hitting your little soft body, making you slightly wet. So I'm going to give you another condition, and I'm sorry about this word, but moist. And we will take that going forwards. How does Gilbert feel about, like, because frogs should be okay with being moist, but like, how does Gilbert feel about being moist?
Well, I think Gilbert's inherent snobbery about itself will mean that being moist is just seen as yet another bit of damage. Barely got off the production line and it's already falling apart. So yeah, pretty upset.
Grand. You feel from somewhere above the reindeer take another toy, and actually then the rest of you see it disappear out the window. Would anybody like to do anything at this point in time? Otherwise, I will move on.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to offer. Somehow, this situation that you've all got yourself into, this bag, kind of brings you some sort of hope. And you all know that your goal is to be the one that's chosen by the child. So that can't be your hope. But do you have a hope for your character, for your toy? We know what your fears are, so your hope could be the opposite of that, by all means. Nate, do you have any ideas? Sorry, Count Thunderthrob, do you have any ideas?
I think just to be the ultimate villain, just to rule over, have more people at his bidding, to take over whatever sort of area he finds himself in, just to take full rule, because he deserves it.
Control. He deserves it. Of course. Bullet, do you have any hopes?
So yeah, Bullet wants to be the best Bullet the Bullet can be. And so essentially just wants to be looked up to by other toys as like the most powerful, most scary, most cool, the most Bullet. You know, he just wants people to. Bullet just wants people to go, "Wow, that's a bullet.
Okay.
That's the best bullet I ever bulleted." Yeah.
I've written in to be the envy of other toys. I think that's kind of a good way to sum that up. Gilbert's hopes.
Yeah, Gilbert's had quite enough drama already, and what Gilbert would like is to just be on a nice shelf somewhere, kind of with a good like view of the room. Ideally, have a little patch up, and then just be left alone. That's its dream.
Okay, great. I'm gonna just throw this out there, Tim. From now on, anytime you want, you can ask to make a reduction roll from this point onwards.
Oh, good. Already.
That is where you can start to mess with the other players.
Perfect. I've not even met the other players yet.
It doesn't matter. You can still find ways to kind of come at them.
All right. Cool.
So
just a bitter little angry frog coming to get you.
Yeah. So there is a common misconception that Santa puts the toys in his sack and boards the sleigh. That's not true, whatever you've heard. You are all issued a boarding pass and it's up to you to find your way to gate 12. I know, right? And it's
Why are there not many gates?
there's a lot.
When you said horror roleplay, I didn't think it would be this horrific.
It's somewhere on the Candy Cane concourse, and your flight departs at sundown. A sugar plum fairy kind of like wanders past you all and says, "Disguise me as a toy and help me sneak into the sleigh." Does any of you help?
Oh. Why should I help you, you measly little whelp? No, Count Thunderthrob doesn't. Go away.
Am I still wedged under a truck?
I think you are a bit wedged. You could still try something.
In that case, I think I'm a bit. Oh well, you scratch my back and I'll scratch you. I do need somebody with opposable thumbs to get me out of here.
The fairy comes along and she says, "Tell me more, please."
How big is this fairy?
Big enough.
I can't believe I'm about to ask this question, but could I insert it into myself?
Are you gonna eat it?
Well, I don't have a mouth. But I do have a busted seam.
Okay.
I just thought, can I hide? I mean, I'm just trying to think, how can I hide a
Inside
fairy?
you.
Yeah, inside me. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to stop you getting her in the truck that you're attached to.
Yeah, that's a.
Get inside me.
I mean, I'm for you putting her inside of you. I'm just saying that you're also attached to a truck, but like,
I'll be like, my proposal is that this truck needs a truck driver and also needs to be removed from my leg, please.
the fairy nods. Okay. I can drive this thing. And I can see you're in a slight predicament. Maybe I could help you a little bit more, perhaps. Maybe I could aim this truck at the others?
Yeah, especially that wet-handed prick who got me all moist. It's been dripping on me this whole time.
So I'm offering you a reduction roll, is what I'm offering.
Yes, I'd like to try hit Count Thunderthrob with a truck, please.
Okay, so the way that a reduction roll works is that we're declaring the plan. The plan is to get the fairy, the Sugar Plum Fairy, to drive the truck at Count Thunderthrob. Specifically. We basically just roll. There is a reduction roll. So if you pick reduction.
Yeah,
and then you roll that.
I'm just Mr. 5 today. Got another 5.
Okay. Declare your plan rolls. Right. If your dice is less than your current roll, it's not.
No.
Do you want to remove one ruin anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
I think narratively, it is funnier if I do it anyway, and I'm just noticed.
Okay. Count Thunderthrob and Bullet, you notice this Sugar Plum Fairy have a conversation with Gilbert. You don't quite hear the complete details, but you see the Sugar Plum Fairy pull up her shorts and hoik herself into a truck, and you hear it You see it wheel spin and her then turn the wheel directly in both of your direction, but you manage to dive out of the way just before it hits you. How do you feel?
Bloody women drivers.
Just throw it on Twitter.
But that's one of your characters.
That's one of my
sound bites.
catchphrases.
I think Bullet looks at Gilbert and he's made an enemy today.
Okay. Your tiara shines just like a little bit. Gilbert, you are now down to 4 ruin. So, I have made the change. All good.
Thank you.
As we move forwards with this, you sort of like make your way down through the corridors and eventually out onto the concourse, and you are bundled into this wonderful sleigh. And we transition into Ring 3. Just as simple as that. By the glow of the Aurora Borealis, snowflakes drift down and bells jingle softly in the distance. Flying reindeer snort impatiently, one of them chewing a toy. Ground control elf. Nobody can understand him. Just how he is. He just speaks like this all the time. He gives approval for the departure, and the elves scramble back up to the workshop. And they then prepare for what it is, the night without the big red man. How do they celebrate that he's left for the evening? Any ideas?
Absolute debauchery.
Yeah, they get utterly smashed.
Yeah. With everything they can find.
Yeah.
Anything they can find.
Anything they can find.
Anything. I imagine it's like snorting glitter. There's no alcohol because why would that be available to them? So
Yes.
it's like whatever. They kind of create their own like tinsel-based moonshine and stuff.
Yeah. Drinking battery fluid.
Yeah.
Putting cloves where cloves shouldn't go.
Yeah, just hard Christingles. Really. Yeah.
For you, a nighttime sleigh ride in an airborne sleigh. The lights from the cities and the towns flicker, and you can kind of see this like peeking out from your sack. And you see the lights from the cities and the towns flicker by as the puffs of breath from the reindeer drift. Santa, the big red man, is sat in the front and kind of controlling, and you hear him go, "Will you look at that? Perfect." And you feel the sleigh veer just to one side and land. And you feel the weight of the sleigh kind of get a bit lighter as he pops out. And you notice that you're on what looks like a roof. And you've heard about this in your creation. You've heard that roofs are good places to be. That's where usually you are delivered. There's a massive board by the side of things. A billboard of an advert of a beautiful, long, blonde-haired princess in a pink, shiny, glittery outfit with like many other outfits beside her. Beside, there's a smaller picture of a smaller man in a blue three-piece suit that looks a little bit kind of doffing a cap. On the side of this billboard, it says Princess Fancy Pants all across. Now with added additions. I can't think of the right word. I can't. Added feature.
Extra accessories.
Extra accessories. There you go. Added accessories. Extra accessories. You can hear there's some carols being sung from somewhere, so the joyful singing of kind of people. And then Santa sort of disappears somewhere. What do you do?
I would like to peek out of the sack and look at my new home. Because why wouldn't it be?
You take a peek. It's a very flat roof. It's quite a big flat roof. Must be a big house. It seems to have vents at the top.
I see, like, is it bit like warehouse big? Like, how big?
I mean, it looks bigger than Santa's house.
Bigger than Santa's house? Cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the chimney.
Okay.
That I'm going to be posted down.
Okay. You certainly see like an exit, and some smoke coming out of a place, coming out of one of the vents.
Am I left out of the sack? No.
I mean, you can try anything. There is no limitations here.
Because, this is my new home, so I'm just going to get out.
Okay. You clamber out and you climb down the sack.
Just wave to the other toys. I'm off.
You notice the reindeer that was chewing a toy kind of gives you a look. Goes back to chewing.
I'm just going to raptor run to the nearest vent.
Okay. Either of you, Count Thunderthrob, Gilbert, are you staying in the sack? Are you hanging out?
Count Thunderthrob, I think, is gonna sort of get out as well. Hopefully, with his little throblings following behind him.
Yeah. They're always in tow. I think they're attached to you somehow.
By the goo.
By the goo.
But
can I look over the side of this roof to see what's down below?
Sure. You see a large lit up area with many you've seen, and you probably know what a toy car looks like. You've seen toy cars. These are a lot bigger toy cars. You've noticed that there's a lot of these toy cars, kind of all out near this house. House adjacent.
Is there many people around?
Few people.
Is there children around?
There's definitely children.
Right.
You can see one being pushed in a chair itself in its own little car. So it's like a tinier car next to a bigger car.
Might need one of those. Gonna have one of those. I'll pass to Tim to see if Gilbert wants to do anything.
Gilbert is looking around. How far above these cars and tiny cars are we?
It looks like there's quite a bit of a drop, but
Hmm.
you think you could make it? Like it wouldn't hurt that much.
Do I want to remove myself from the sleigh so massively? I think I would like to use this moment to get back into the sack and close it behind me so that it is harder for Bullet and Count Thunderthrob to get back in.
Okay, cool.
Gilbert's such a little snake. Are you sure he's a frog?
I'm a frog, actually.
Cool. I'm gonna let you do that with no risk. Because I can't see that there is a risk.
Well, is it a reduction roll or is it?
It's not a reduction roll.
It's
But it is just a normal roll.
Keeping
However,
myself safe.
I will ask for devil's bargains because you still can fail at this. Remember.
Yeah.
So you've got one dice. Like, which
one
skill are you using to help you?
I mean, I'm looking at my skills. There's nothing in my skills that really. I'm guessing it's snobbery. The skill of snobbery.
Okay,
The feeling of superiority, putting me in a position where
I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay, I'll give you one light dice for that. Does anybody want to offer a devil's bargain?
No matter what, you accidentally, as you're closing the sack, also attach your own leg to the tie knot. So you're in the sack, but you will never get out of
You
the
are
sack.
the sack.
You are now part of the sack.
My body horror is just merging with things. that's what Gilbert's life is. Part thirsty with part truck. No, I want to be part. I like that. That's a really nice idea.
I'm gonna offer you another option.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no matter what, the string that you pull is not the sack string.
Oh. Now.
Okay.
Do
Nate, do you have anything?
No, I'm going to leave you with those two.
You can come up with one yourself if you want, Gilbert.
I feel like, considering this is a thing where you have told me there is no risk, therefore, like, there's literally no problem if it goes wrong, and that taking these devil's bargains seem ludicrous. At the same time, I like both of them.
Well, your ruin can't go up. Let's put that at risk.
Fuck it, let's go with both.
Okay.
I want to see what this other string is, and I want to get tangled up in the bag. I got two
tangled up in the other string, whatever that.
Yeah, I got 2 4s.
Okay, so 2 4s. That's a partial success.
Yeah.
With consequence. So you may gain another condition, but your ruin stays as it is.
Cool.
So I've made a little bit of a boo-boo, a little bit of a rules boo-boo, which happens because I don't always read them fully. It seems that we can make more reduction rolls once you hit 5, once you start reducing from 5. So Gilbert's move to close the bag is going to be treated as a reduction roll. So the sadly, the delicious devil's bargains get lost, but we can keep them in
Oh,
because might still come into useful, depending as to what the reduction is. So, Gilbert, can you roll me a reduction roll, and then we'll transfer the camera to either Count Throb,
Thunderthrob.
or Bullet. I have to keep reminding myself of names. And you're looking to roll under your current ruin, so anything below a 4.
oh no! I'm always getting exactly my ruin.
I know it says that you've.
That probably wasn't. That wasn't a reduction roll. That was a ruin roll. Oh yes, your betrayal goes.
The reduction.
Yeah. If this is less than your current ruin, your betrayal goes unnoticed. It's not. It is the same. So now you need to make a choice. Do you want to remove your ruin anyway, or not? If you remove your ruin anyway, then you are noticed. If not, then you are unnoticed.
I am going to. I'm going to try, fail, and just be like, oh, and pretend it didn't happen. So I will not do it, and I will just remain unnoticed and unsuccessful.
Okay, great. So
There's a massive dent to my ego.
yeah, you pull on what you think is the right chord, and taking from our devil's bargains, you hear this voice come from somewhere in the bag, and this voice is like, "Oh, I'm your favorite toy. Look at me." But you're not sure where it came from.
Oh.
Somewhere in the bag. Count Thunderthrob, Stroke Bullet. Would any of you like to do a thing?
Oh, I thought that was a command. Can't throw. Like to do anything.
I mean, Livy, you're already kind of putting yourself kind of down towards the vent, right? That's where you were heading.
Yeah. Bullet,
Down the vent. Down the vent.
Bullet is looking for his way in to become the best bullet that ever bulleted.
As you scamper towards the vent, you can hear like just a gentle kind of like a swishing noise, like a constant swishing noise. And as you sort of like leap to one of those raptor, like rah! Leaps into the vent. I know what the risk is. So I'm going to say there's at least one dark dice. What skill are you using to give yourself a light dice? If any.
My skill of lights.
Okay.
So I can light my way.
Great.
I can see what I'm doing.
Great. Love it. I'm now going to ask, does anybody have their devil bargain for Bullet as to what might happen when Bullet goes into the vent? I had to check my pronouns there very carefully.
Whatever happens, the vent is slightly steeper than you anticipated, and you slide down to a unknown section, kind of further down than you intended.
Okay, love it. Nate, do you have anything?
Whatever happens, the vent is sort of situated above, like, something that is... the vent is used to excrete sort of like a really nasty smell out from the building. So whatever happens, you start... that stench is then ingrained into your plastic.
I like that a lot. I don't have anything else apart from the ruin, so yeah, I have the end thing if it goes wrong. Livy, you can come up with one yourself. You can accept one of those devil's bargains, more than one. It's up to you. You don't have to accept one.
I get an extra light dice. Is that
Correct.
right, for every devil's bargain.
Correct.
But obviously, it would change the outcome.
Just changes the narrative.
I'm happy to be smelly forever.
Okay.
Probably. Depends what the smell is.
I mean, it's not going to be great.
Hopefully,
Mayonnaise.
grease and manly odors, obviously.
Mayonnaise, the manliest of odors.
Mayonnaise is not a manly odor.
That's what a non-manly man would say.
Bullet. No, smells like mayonnaise.
That's what a beta male would say.
So what is that?
That's 2 light, 1 dark on a risk roll.
Risk
please.
roll, 2 light, 1 dark.
Oh, we did it.
Oh.
Okay. You are successful in your quest. So as you leap into this vent, that swishing noise gets louder and louder as you kind of down through this kind of... And time seems to just slow itself as you get closer and closer to this fan that's been pulsating and moving around. And you manage to swish in between the rotor, in between the fan, just like missing you entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And you land in the bottom of this vent. And just when you land in the bottom of this vent, this waft of air is pushed through at kind of a high speed. And your nostrils flare a little bit. And you think, what is that? What is that? Is that... It's some sort of floral scent? It could be lavender.
My greatest fear.
But you've landed in the bottom of the vents. What do you do? You can see that there is like a tunnel that leads out.
Bullet will just sort of keep sniffing him, just not sure if it's him. You know when you're not sure if you smell, like just keeps like.
Is it me?
Like, is that me? Do I smell like lavender? Is that Bullet? Bullet would never. But it just Bullet will shake it off and go towards the light.
Okay.
To find his child.
Okay. When you reach the end of this tunnel, you find yourselves amongst like what looks like Mrs. Claus, but a lot of them. There seems to be a lot of people with white hair and people with like kind of really wrinkly skin kind of pottering around, and that scent of lavender is more pungent than ever. You run along a little bit more, and as you run you kind of like scamper under a table, knocking the leg just very slightly, and this bottle comes crashing down next to you and sprays you with this liquidy, perfumey substance.
burns.
So it wasn't you, but now it is you.
Now it is me.
Count Thunderthrob, let's find out what you're up to.
So Count Thunderthrob, he can tell from seeing the cars, the bigger cars than what he's used to, the bigger toy cars, that they're probably not at the house of the child. Like, there's too many children here. He only needs one child.
Yeah, there is only one, really. The one.
He's having a good think about who is the ultimate foe he needs to sort of he needs to overtake here. Who is the power that he needs to overtake to get to where he needs to be?
Gilbert.
And that is the big red man.
Hmm.
He's seen that the sleigh is no longer guarded.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to use his expendable throblings to take over the sleigh.
Okay. Okay. I've got ideas for what might go wrong. Many ideas for what might go wrong. I will accept any ideas for what might go wrong. You're using your feature. Crucial. Okay, yeah.
I don't really.
So that gives you one light dice for your feature or skill. And I want to know, does anybody have any devil's bargains or anything they'd like to throw at me or throw at Nate?
Are you taking over the sleigh, or are you using your or your throbbling to take over the sleigh?
I'm taking over the sleigh, but I'm using my throblings to be like my navigation team, to be like my cockpit team.
Mm-hmm. No matter what, your throblings do not know their left and right.
Okay.
No matter what, one of your throblings, having never had this much responsibility before, gets drunk on power and will try and usurp you.
I like both of those.
I have a very different tangent, but that's fine. Like, it's up to you which one you take, or you can take none. You can come up with one yourself.
Can I take both of them?
You can take both
Yeah.
of them. No matter what, the thing that is being advertised, the Princess Snugglepants, Princess Fancy Pants, Princess Fancy Pants, appears somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to take all three.
That's one dark, 4 light. Yes.
1 dark, 4 light. Roll. So, oh man.
Okay.
It is higher than my ruin, so I take ruin.
So you kind of get what you want. Your ruin goes up to 5, but you are semi-successful
Yes.
in this. Okay, which is great. You command these throblings. What do these throblings look like?
I like to think that they're little sort of blue bean-shaped sort of creatures with arms and legs. And yeah, they sort of just have like little dot eyes and little jagged teeth.
Just like cursed jelly beans.
Cursed jelly beans, yeah.
Okay. You see like 3 or 4 of them jump onto like the backs of the reindeers and just start like kind of like hitting them to try and make them go. You see one in particular like kind of make this motion and then scamper forwards and tries to wrestle the reins from your hands. So you're currently being challenged, I think, is a is a condition I'm going to give you. But you feel, what was the other?
Princess Fancy Pants turns up.
Princess Fancy Pants turns up, and the minions don't know, or the Throblings don't know what their left and right is.
Okay, great, cool. So you feel the sleigh levitate just like a little bit. You notice a dainty hand holding on to the levitating sleigh. And your Throbling that is holding the reins turns around and sort of at you.
What's that you say, Throbling number 23? I'll go and look.
Yeah, and Count Thunderthrob is going to look over the sled and see what the little Throbling was talking about.
Okay. You see this plastic doll, very similar to what you already know from yourself. Beautiful long blonde hair, a princess dress, and a very large laser cannon attached to its back.
Count Thunderthrob is in love. He's going to command his nibblings to try and get Princess Fancy Pants onto the sled. I guess you'll make a fine queen when I rule this sled.
She doesn't say anything, but she does kind of gesture a little bit and waits for you to pull them up.
Yeah.
And she arrives on the sled. She bows, looks you dead in the eyes, and goes, "Right."
Speak up. What did you say?
Right.
That's what I thought. Probably for the best that you don't say much.
Meanwhile, Gilbert's tucked away in his little baggie, safe and sound. And our intrepid raptor is now Niffy. And encountering wrinkly people. Something's not right about this place. Something's really not right. What do you do?
I'm under a table.
Yeah.
Okay. Bullet. Looking around and realizing, one, he's got some kind of poisonous substance on him. And two, that there is no children here. Bullet would like to see if Bullet can find an exit.
Okay. Yeah.
Can Bullet see a door?
Bullet can certainly see a door. You can see like there's a flashing green light with what looks like a man.
Bullet will run as fast as Bullet can run.
Okay.
Like a bullet. to the exit.
You pelt it as fast as you can, dodging and ducking and weaving through the feet and the people that are around. This feels like a risky move to me.
No.
Does anybody have an idea what could go wrong for a bullet as they're weaving their way through, as Bullet weaves Bullet's way through the store? Does anybody have an idea what could happen to Bullet? I have idea.
Are they at ground level?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel that you're going to trip over. You'll get as in you're the trip hazard, not you're going to trip over, but you're going to trip over an old person, and in doing so, one of your accoutrements is going to get broken. Slash, an old person's going to get broken.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. Nate, do you have anything?
Thinking along the same lines. Yeah, old person's going to trip up over you. As they trip up over you, not only is something going to get broken on you, but they're going to kick you, and you're going to skid along something rough that's going to take off some of your paint job.
Ooh. Ooh, I like that as well. Very nice. So either of those things could go wrong, though. I might decide once we do the roll. I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain, Livy, as well. I'm going to offer Bullet a devil's bargain. The devil's bargain is no matter what, your pull string gets caught on something. And I will open it up as any devil's bargains as well.
Alright.
No matter what, an emotional support dog is going to notice.
Okay.
Remember, you don't have to take a devil's bargain. You're currently rolling one dark, one light.
So I'll take the pull string that it gets caught on something, no matter what. Probably an old person's foot as I break their hip. They fall over me.
In which case, can Bullet roll me 2 light, 1 dark?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. You're very good at this.
Bullet.
Bullet
is
is
the best. Bullet is the
very
best
good.
bullet. Is the best bullet the bullet can be.
Best bullet. You scamper your way through, like past a set of heels, past a set of hooves, past another set of heels, and like under and through, and you scamper all the way through, and then you're all of a sudden like you think that you are through and like out into what seems like a main thoroughfare, and then you feel something yoink you and you fall flat on your back. What does the pull string then gets let go? What does Bullet say?
Bullet says, maybe we should pick a handbag to go with those purple pumps.
And in that moment, like on your back, kind of wheels are still turning. I don't know if Bullet has wheels or actual claws, whether it's like, who knows? That's up to you. You hear in the distance, that showed them. And you feel yourself being picked up and elevated, and you meet the man in red, like face to face. He's like, how did you get out? Naughty toy, come with me. And you are hoisted into a pocket, back out the pocket. He sniffs you. That's new. The elves are getting inventive. Back into the pocket you go. Your condition, I think we already figured it out. Lady voice.
Condition is lady voice and lavender scented.
Yeah.
And lavender scented.
I love that the main theme of this game seems to be just bit by bit, gradually, thoroughly belittled. All of our characters are just being thoroughly belittled bit by bit.
It is a downward spiral. You do notice that on the big red man, there is a new attachment before you go into the pocket. As you were facing him, you did notice there's a new badge he's wearing. The badge says first place Santa competition. And you feel yourself kind of go into this metal box. The metal box closes. You hear a and it stops. And he walks out and he sees the sleigh slightly elevated. But the bag tightly closed. He sprints, you feel yourself kind of like being bounded along as he sprints towards it. Just as Count Thunderthrob tries harder and harder to pull off the ground, you feel yourself leap into the air as the big red man lands in the seat next to you. Count Thunderthrob, you're holding the reins.
Ruh-roh.
I command my throblings to attack. To attack the red man. We're so close. We can't stop now. The plan goes ahead.
No matter what the throblings do, they hurl themselves at the big red man, and big red man just kind of bats them off like they're nothing. For that, I'm going to give you a condition, and you might hate me for this. Throbblingless?
No!
Oh,
Not my
Expended
throblings.
your throblings.
yeah.
For challenging the big red man. Not a thing you
It's alright, I've
should
got
do.
Princess Fancy Pants now.
My wife.
My wife.
No,
My wife.
none of that. And you feel the sleigh sort of take off into the distance as you are still sat next to the big red man. Gilbert, you feel the sleigh kind of back,
Ah,
and you think,
sigh of relief.
so
My new best friend, my favourite toy.
you don't know where the other two are.
No, well, I don't like them.
You cruise through the night a little bit more, and you land once again, and this time you notice that the smell of fresh baked cookies is wafting up through the chimney. But the child had a plan to ambush Santa, and it was foiled when he finally fell asleep. Let's figure out what trap the child had prepared to catch Santa. Nate, do you have any input into this?
Well, I think it will definitely involve some sort of bait. So I think the really fancy biscuits that like the female parent had required. So yeah, the ones that the kid wasn't allowed to touch, but the child got a hold of. So the really fancy biscuits.
The M&S ones.
The M&S ones.
The M&S shortbreads.
Yeah.
Probably. Livy, Bullet, do you have anything to add to the child's plan to catch Santa?
Dad's shotgun.
Thought it was a toy.
Wow, that escalated so quickly.
It just came out.
We can take that. It's okay. I mean, I don't encourage children to be around guns for this purpose.
Well, depends where we are. If we're in America, then it's very...
There's no Marks and Spencer's in America.
There's no Marks. That's true. No, I think some kind of...
It could be an air rifle, of course.
Tinsel.
Okay.
Like, sort of...
Tinsel garrote.
Yeah, like a garrote wire. Like, or sort of, or like tried to like make it like lasers, like kind of a couple. So like, I don't know, he's just gonna get trapped in tinsel and.
Okay. A tinsel web.
A tinsel web, maybe with little bells on, so he knows when Santa has gone into the web.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Gilbert?
Once his parents went to sleep, he snuck outside, ripped the video camera doorbell off the door, and has set it up pointed to the fire. It may or may not be still functioning, but he has attempted to point the doorbell to the fireplace so that even if he does fall asleep, it will appear on his parents' phone.
Love it. Love it. As you all sort of like get to this new house, you realize that you're very close to what could be the final prize, and you have little time. So it's just a reminder to try and sabotage your rivals if you can. And two of you can.
Well, it doesn't have the brains to think about sabotage.
But it's, from what I understand, locked in a box. So,
you are still in the big red man's pocket.
I'm in a pocket.
The bullet is in the big red man's pocket. Count Thunderthrop, you are picked back up, put in a different pocket.
Where's Princess Fancy Pants?
Princess Fancy Pants is picked up and put in the same pocket.
Good. Brilliant.
And
I would like to know if I've successfully found who the source of the voice was in the bag.
the voice in the bag, I can't remember what I said, but that's okay.
I'm your favorite toy.
Okay, yes.
All of that.
Yes. It was something around those lines. I should write these things down sometimes. As you kind of unravel yourself from what is yet another pull string, you thought you could got rid of the first one. You unravel yourself and you are faced with this kind of clown face, like that's kind of crying slightly from both eyes. It seems to be weeping.
Well,
That's it.
delightful.
Looks
That's
at
it.
you and says, "I'm your favorite toy, right?"
I go. Yes, you are. However, the pressing matter here. Could you do me a little favor and just pull me out of this bag? Then I give him a little thump on the shoulder because we're such jovial mates,
Such buds.
such good buds. With like a little bit of help getting me out
Okay.
so that I can see the world.
I think that this could be risky for you.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, but I don't know if you have a skill that will help you. But like, I'd love to.
No, I don't think I do really. I've got animal snuggling and bounce. I don't know, bounce. Is that helpful? I mean, I have got a devil's bargain, which I was thinking.
Okay. We'll come around to those. I've got like roughly what's available. So maybe no initial light die for you. So that's one dark. Let's hear your devil's bargain for yourself.
My devil's bargain is that whatever happens, I'm going to lose a lot of beads, creating a Home Alone booby trap style series of ball bearings across the floor of the sleigh.
Okay.
That was kind of what I was thinking, but also meaning that I think about half of my body mass is going to fall out of me during this.
Nice. I like that. Anybody else have a devil's bargain?
Devil's bargain. This clown never leaves your side.
Yeah, I was going to have the same one. That like no matter what, the clown is now your best friend and will not
attached.
Detach from you. He will just hold on to you, like George with a mouse.
I've got no stuffing in my legs anymore, so I can't escape.
Just holding you, just stroking you.
Oh yeah, okay.
We're best friends.
Okay.
It's like that.
Do you want to give me a roll? Do you want to decide how many devil bargains
I'm taking both of those because the end result is so bad. I just really like it.
Best friend.
Of course it's a 4. So my ruin's going to go up.
Okay. Okay, so your rune goes up by 1. Your rune is back up to 5. And you are now, I'm going to give you the condition attached.
To a sad clown. A sad, desperate clown.
And the clown kind of like gets you in its grasp and sort of like clings onto you. And you notice that this clown is quite wet. And you think that the moisture that you contain is the same moisture.
Oh my goodness, we're brothers.
So this relationship has been going on for longer than you realize.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Count Thunderthrob. I thought it was you.
And he kind of hops kind of towards the bag and kind of manages to scramble out. And you... A slight bit of the seam from your belly just kind of unravels a little bit, and you feel some parts of you just like ooze out as he squeezes you, and you feel less of a frog than you used to feel.
Genuinely horrible. Oh, poor Gilbert.
Congratulations.
Gilbert only has Gilbert to blame.
Yeah, I know. Problem is he did it to himself. Yeah, that's it. He's just been going around trying to screw people over and only succeeding in mutilating himself.
And further problems.
It's a cautionary tale for everyone.
For everyone.
Don't be a Gilbert.
And you are hoisted up by the red man, who notices yet another of his toys escaping the sack. And he stuffs you into his shirt with the clown in tow. Both of you. You roguey toys. You will be delivered. That is my job. And with a puff of smoke, you go down the chimney, peeking out from your various pockets and bits of the red man's suit. How can you tell that this is the best possible home for you? I'm going to go first with Gilbert.
There is a child asleep on the sofa wearing frog pajamas.
Oh.
Obviously, a perfect home where I will be liberated from this clown hell and was given the respect that I deserve.
Okay. Count Thunderthrob, how do you know that this is the best possible home ever?
The TV is on.
Okay.
It's on mute, or on very low volume. I'm going to say mute. But the news report about the Count Thunderthrob toys being taken off the shelves is currently playing. So he thinks that, oh, this house obviously respects me. Half of my job is already done because, it's obviously being taken over right now. My Throblings have been doing their work, so that's why this is the place he needs to be.
Great. Bullet, how do you tell that this is the best possible home ever?
Bullet can see a sort of menagerie of other dinosaur toys, but none of them look as cool as Bullet. So Bullet feels that he can come in here as the new cool toy and just be like, they'll be like, oh wow. So he sees all these kind of cool like dinosaur toys that he'll get played with, but he's obviously going to be the best one of the bunch.
Love it. I'm going to offer a round just in case either Count Thunderthrob or Gilbert want to try and do a thing to mess each other up or mess up Bullet. Just kind of give you an option. But I'm going to say that you are placed down and you are placed underneath the tree along with a couple of other presents. A nightlight is on in a distant room, and you have peace and quiet to yourself. Is there anything you'd like to do? Any of you?
Count Thunderthrob is going to see the clown grasping hold of Gilbert, actually not paying much attention to Gilbert, but paying more attention to the clown. I would like to use misdirection to tell the clown that this is not where he wants to be. I believe that Count Thunderthrob is actually a big fan of clowns, and doesn't want the clown to be in any harm, so he's actually telling him to leave now, like, this world, I do not want to wish you any harm, clown. You are my friend. But leave this house. Leave now. And hopefully taking Gilbert with him.
Do you want to roll me a reduction roll, please? And then I will offer Gilbert anything. If this is less than your current ruin, your betrayal goes unnoticed and you decrease your ruin by 1.
It is a 2.
Great. So,
How did it go unnoticed? I'm literally there.
Gotten unnoticed by everyone else.
Gilbert, is there anything you'd like to do as well? And we'll see if we can weave this into the narrative.
I'm just trying to think about what I can do in this situation.
You're not forced to. I'm just offering a space.
I think that I am going to make a last-ditched attempt, as this clown is probably going to leave with me attached, as has been the story of my short, miserable life. That I'm going to try and grab a part of the tree with the idea of knocking it down and burying everybody in a last-ditched attempt to get something going on.
Okay. Also, roll me a reduction roll.
Oh. It's probably going to be... Oh! I also got a 2.
Great. Okay.
No one noticed.
No one noticed the tree falling down.
This is all going to happen simultaneously. I'm going to also offer Bullet. Bullet, is there anything that Bullet would like to do to try and make Bullet's way towards child, or to be the one to be the toy that the child picks?
I think. Particularly.
You don't have to. I'm just sort of offering.
No, I think in this situation, he's been placed under the tree, so Bullet's just kind of like happily just sitting there.
Okay. Gilbert, you feel the clown come with me, friend. Yes. You are the best toy for me. And it gets up and it scampers towards this light that it sees. You reach out, you grab a branch of the tree. The whole thing comes crashing down on top of both Count Thunderthrob and Bullet and anything else that's underneath it. A cat. From somewhere underneath the tree, you hear, but you don't know why.
This has properly got into like a very weird horror. What you have described there is horrific, but in such an odd way.
And you are taken towards this light.
Oh, no.
It is the morning of Christmas. We are nearly there. And you've nearly made it through, toys. You've done so well. Don't give up yet. The house itself awakes. And you see yet another old, slightly lavender-scented, white-haired woman with bunched-up socks potter in towards what you think might be the kitchen. And you hear a click of a button and then gurgling. There is no more time left. You must now make the choice to either be the one that is chosen by the child or not? Or anything anybody would like to do?
I think Bullet would like to create a large distraction
Okay.
so he can make a run to get closest so that he is the first thing the child sees on Christmas morning.
Lovely. In the very distance of your hearing perception, you hear a snoring in the background. A gentle, slightly growling snoring. And you think, oh, that's nice. Child snores. See? There's at least one dark dice in play. You've played a skill. That's one light dice. Do I have any devil's bargains for this particular situation?
No matter what, the other dinosaur toys see you and start rushing over to say hello.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna similar but different, which is no matter what, the other dinosaurs see you now as a threat.
Yeah, I like that one better.
You don't have to take either of those. You can come up with one yourself. You can adapt either of those. I'm going to say... No, I'm not. I'm going to keep those two, and I'm going to keep the end result to myself. For now.
I was going to say, no matter what, the distraction not only distracts the other toys, but also the dog that's in the room.
Yeah.
This is the perfect opportunity to create a tea party in your honor.
Yes.
So the one thing that
That's true with my new dinosaur friends. No, I think I go with no matter what, the other dinosaurs will see me as a threat.
Okay. That's 2 light, 1 dark, please.
2 light, 1 dark. Ooh, ruin goes up by 1.
Okay. Ruin goes up by 1. You are unsuccessful in what you tried to do. What does Bullet say, or what does Bullet do as a distraction? Tell me more about this distraction.
I think Bullet was attempting to use his laser vision
Okay.
to blind all of the other toys.
Okay.
So he just kind of gets them, like he's just kind of runs in front of them and just like attempts to put his laser vision on and just zoom across like his sight across all of them in
Okay.
multi-blinding effort.
Okay.
However, he doesn't realise that he doesn't have laser vision.
That's changed the outcome a little bit for me. So,
Yeah.
but it's great. I love it. You kind of start to kind of make your way out from underneath this felled tree. You notice the thing that was sleeping on the sofa is not is not sleeping anymore. And what Gilbert thought was a child wrapped up in frog pajamas was actually just a massive cat.
In
This
frog pajamas.
four-legged, tabby ginger cat unfurls itself and sees the lasers.
Well, they're actually just like it's just a dream kaleidoscope. Just la 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 la, and makes little butterflies and plays a little song.
Sees the lights on the wall and is immediately entranced by it.
Yeah.
In doing this, it bats you halfway across the room, and there you join the other dinosaur toys, who then pile on top. And they start to sort of like do all of their actions. Some of them still have their batteries in. And one of them is chomping on a leg. One of them is trying to scratch you. You are buried in dinosaurs as a condition. I don't know what that means.
Can't make the condition buried in dinosaurs.
Oh, or just buried. We'll just go with buried. There we go. It's a bit easier. Okay. Any other... Like, this is the real final competition. And I think like we're just going to have a competition.
Where am I? Because I was dragged out of the room.
You were dragged out of the room by a weird clown toy.
Yeah.
You are sat outside of a door, like still being hugged by this clown toy.
Oh.
And you're sat just outside of a door. You can see that there's light underneath the door.
I'm going to assume that I've just seen everything that has happened, and I've just realised that the person that I thought was a child was actually a cat in pajamas. And therefore, if one of the rooms contained a prunish white-haired person who's now in the kitchen, and the sofa contained a cat, the room that I'm outside to contain the child. Logic dictates. So I'm going to do a little reach around using my noodle feature.
Okay.
And pull the clown's drawstring to attract the attention of the child that is in their room, who will open a door and find an odd clown courier delivering the best Christmas present.
Best toy. Great. Nate,
Once again, no skills. It's just
skills.
setting myself up for bad things.
We're going to go into a competition just to kind of see if we can figure out who is the eventual winner or loser, or all the losers are. Count Thunderthrob, how do you want to do this?
Almost.
That's my best Matt Mercer not impression.
Almost along the same sort of lines. Count Thunderthrob can't see the child anywhere now that he's seen that the child was actually a cat in frog pajamas.
Right.
To try and sound the announcement that he is here and he is ready for war, he is going to take Princess Fancy Pants, and I'm going to take it. She's got like a sort of like a voice activation pull string, to try and get her to do the biggest roar that she can.
That 10th roar that nobody gets to.
Yeah.
The biggest
And
roar.
I'm going to use her as my new expendable sidekick.
Okay. And buried under a sea of dinosaurs, is there anything that Bullet would like to do to secure their position? Bullet's position.
Bullet would like to use his skills in extortion. To extort the other dinosaurs into releasing him.
Okay.
Saying basically that if he doesn't become the child's new favourite toy, that they will all lose their jobs as well.
This is going to be what's known as a contest roll.
Okay.
So if you all click on the contest part, you put in a light die for any skill that applies to the contest, so which you've all explained at least a skill that all applies. So you can please put one light die in. You can add another light die for every ruin that you have. For everybody, I believe that is 4. So that should be 5 light dice at least for everybody.
Nice.
And now you can take a dark dice if the contest is inherently dangerous or deadly, which I'm going to say it is, at least 1 dark dice. And then you may add as many dark dice as you want to risk. So this is going to be a final roll, so you can put in a ridiculous number of dark dice if you want, or you can be conservative. It's entirely up to you, but I don't want you to tell me how many dark dice you've put in. I don't want you to tell each other how many dark dice you've put in. So, I don't know what the numbers go up to, so like you make a choice. And we'll do what we'll do. So, can I get a roll from each of you, a contest roll, and we will figure out who is the victor, and we will bring this story to a close.
Do you wanna? Is it a free for all, or do you want us to do it in an order?
Oh, well, if we do 3, 2, 1, roll.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
3,
Yep.
2, 1, roll. Okay. 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 Not many 6s, surprisingly. It's only 6s that count.
Well,
I got
I
2
got
6s.
1.
But
I got 1.
but we have a winner.
Yeah.
And that's the important part. The important part is we have a winner. Because it like then goes down in numbers, but the important part is we have a person who says most. Bullet. I think your ending for me is the easiest one to think of. You managed to somehow converse. Could you tell me what it is that Bullet says, like in the best lady voice that you can do, to persuade the dinosaurs to get off you?
No, we need to work together on this. If you kill me, then I will, he needs another dinosaur, and I'll be the best dinosaur, and all he'll want to do is play with me all the time. And if you kill me, then he'll lose all interest in dinosaurs. And what will we do?
They all look at each other. Some of them nod, like a knowing nod. And they pick you up and lift you across their backs like their new leader. It's like you've persuaded them. And they cart you out on this sea of dinosaurs down the corridor. And instead of placing you outside the door, they drop you by the kitchen, and then they scamper back to where the tree has fallen. You hear a shuffling, and you feel yourself being lifted into the air, and you meet this wrinkly, white-haired lady who's like, "Oh, Lovely. This must be my present this year. Novelty. My family are so inventive, and they've made it smell especially nice. What's this? And she pulls your pull string.
Mm-hmm.
What comes out?
Every day is a great day when it's you and me.
Oh, lovely. Mission dinosaur. Lavender. My favorite. It's the best thing I could have ever wanted. And she carts you into this room and shuts the door. That is your fate. Gilbert.
Yes. You tried so hard.
Attached to this clown, you reach and try and pull at something, at what you think is the clown. You think it's the clown, and you pull, and this thread gets longer and longer and longer.
Gilbert.
And you feel yourself kind of becoming limper, less full, as these beads pour out the side of you, as the small split becomes a full rip.
Oh no.
And your entire contents of your body is spilled out on the floor.
Oh.
As you lay there, the clown still holding you tight, you feel something else wet, kind of like just at your face. And you manage to turn your head to look as this black, possibly schnauzer, puts its mouth around your head and around the clown's head and trots off down the corridor.
Was the inevitable ending, wasn't he? Just two felt rags attached to a clown.
Count Thunderthrob. An hour or so passes, and some of this you may have noticed as the toys are diminished. The tree is picked back up. And you are still somewhat attached, or at least with Princess Fancy Pants. Maybe you're holding hands, I don't know.
Yes, we're married
Yes.
now.
Just me, you, and your laser cannon.
Her laser cannon kind of goes off, like the cat chases it on the floor. And you are held up aloft. And you are gifted to this small human. A lot smaller than regular humans. And this tiny human's face lights up with joy. Ah, amazing! And like you hear this laughter and happiness. But it's only for about the next hour. And then you are put down in a toy box with all the others. And maybe they'll play with you again. You hope they will. They might. But we'll have to find out. Thank you very much. That's been hopefully a recording for Explorers of Elsewhere. My name's Chris. I go by Catharsis Jelly across the internet. You can go and look me up. I do improv and other stuff. Thanks to Dan for loaning me the channel. Thanks to my players. Thanks very much to special guest Tim, who we don't get to see very often. We want to see more of.
Lovely to see you all.
As a child. Thanks to Livy for joining us. Thanks to Nate for doing some of the tech behind the scenes today. And thanks to you for watching. Any final notes before I wrap this completely up?
I guess if you liked this video, please leave us a like, leave a comment. Maybe the ultimate end of where would Bullet be placed in the old lady's house? Where would be the best place for him? Or maybe where is Gilbert going to be buried? So yeah, go on, Tim.
I just love the fact that Bullet became this sort of sweet-smelling mindfulness dinosaur. It's just
Bullet.
Bullet.
So yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like. If you ding that bell, get notifications, and if you liked videos like this or other sort of games that we play, this is going to be airing before the very finale of the long-running campaign Elysia Rising, which I think is coming out next weekend, and you don't want to miss that. It is great. But there's lots of other things. There's Daggerheart, there is Warhammer going on at the moment as well, so Warhammer RPG as well that's being played, and
more stuff coming,
and more stuff coming within the new year, which you don't want to miss. So yeah, I think that's it from all of us.
Thank you very much for watching. Don't have nightmares about Christmas.
Yeah. Don't have nightmares about all your innards falling out.
And email every toy company asking for lavender scented battle raptors.
Yes. The affirmation that we all need.
Be well.
Bye everyone.
Bye.